Consider this to supersize your business and give you a competitive advantage in your industry. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. I like to talk about things that most companies and most business owners and founders don't think about when it comes to growing and building and scaling and supersizing our business. And this whole month, that's why I share the 9-part life framework. This month, we're focusing on physical health and well-being. Now, I think it's ironic and funny that the day I start the new challenge focus area, I get sick. I caught a cold from my granddaughters, who I adore, but they do pass along germs. And so physically, we're talking about different topics that impact our health. Why? Because the healthier we are, the more energy we have, the better example we set for other people, etc. And the healthier our organization is and the people in that organization, that truly gives us a competitive advantage. There are entire industries that are fueled on energy drinks, stimulants, and things like that. And they think they have a competitive advantage, but long term they don't, because it wears people's bodies out. So what is our topic? What is this thing to choose today or consider today? It is nutrition. What we put into our bodies and what our people that work with us put into their bodies matters. Sometimes we like to think it doesn't, but it absolutely positively does. It's what allows us to have the energy to move forward and do the things we need to do. It gives us, if we feed ourselves and we put in our bodies things that are better for us. And I've had several big life lessons that have taught me this and really brought this lesson home to me. I remember thinking when I was in my 20s and I met my sister's husband, he would always say, I eat to live, I don't live to eat. Now, for somebody that was on a yo-yo dieting phase, and pretty much always dieting and paying attention, way more attention to food than was required, I didn't understand that philosophy at all. But over the years, I have learned to embrace that and believe that too, that what we put into our body is so important. I like to ask myself, if I'm eating something or choosing something, am I choosing it because it's what my body needs and it feels good to me and will give me the energy, the focus, the whatever I need in order to perform well today? Or is it just the thing that's convenient and close to me? For probably a decade or two, I was guilty of consuming whatever was close to me. I was in a frenzied, building my businesses, working in corporate America, raising my 2 young children, and in tough relationships and businesses while working in corporate America. So it was a crazy time. And I pretty much would just eat whatever was available, whenever it was available. I found myself absolutely living on diet soda, coffee, and then whatever I could grab, which was often jalapeno chips, which I actually still like, but I don't eat nearly as much as I did back then. And all of that, plus all the stress, plus all the other things that were going on in my life, led to a sudden cardiac arrest. I don't recommend that as a massive shift in direction and choices, but I do know that it had a profound impact on me. And so has what I fuel my body with a couple of other times related to major health challenges, which is all physical, right? Now, I will contend a lot of it is mental and psychological too, but that's a story for another day. Today we're talking about nutrition. What do we eat? What do we drink? What do we consume that has an impact on our physiology? Because that is the fastest, easiest way to create the energy and the performance that we want. So often we think we can exercise off any junk food and things we eat, but it is physically impossible to exercise and be active enough to combat a bad nutritious choices. We eat a ton of calories and a ton of junk food and a ton of highly processed food. Our bodies cannot process that. That's why I could get into a whole probably couple day talk or dissertation on processed foods. And now keep in mind, I was in the food industry for 35 years. I just recently exited that industry. And so I have an intimate knowledge of what goes on in that industry. Excuse me, need a drink. So today my question for you is, have you ever considered your nutrition and as being an example for your organization, as well as the nutrition and the things that you do in your company? But back in the days when I was in corporate America, we would bring bagels in once a week. We would bring donuts in once a week. We would bring other treats and sweets and fun things in to eat at our department head meetings. And if I look back now, luckily I was young back then, and I could exercise off all that I was consuming because I wouldn't choose a whole lot of that. But when I think about that, it gets really easy, just like all bad habits are really easy to start and hard to break, but good habits are hard to start and easy to break. And I remember that whenever I'm thinking about or reaching for something that I want that's super sweet or I know isn't really great for me, because I know how it impacts my body. And guess what? We're all human beings, and certain things have a very similar effect on all of us. That is how the food industry got so big. That is how the pharmaceutical industry got so big. They have studied to a T what impacts and addicts human beings. And we can fall into that, or we can make different choices for ourselves. One of the fastest, easiest ways to do that is to make different choices for ourselves, right? Take back our personal power and choose what we will and will not consume. So my question for you today is, take a look at your business and ask yourself, are we bringing bagels and donuts and crazy waffles? What else have we seen and done? So many things into our organization for meetings. Are we having in our break rooms healthy alternatives, whole food snacks available, not just the junk food snack bars, energy drinks, and things that a lot of organizations have available for their workers? Yeah, it gives them, just like the coffee, a quick rush of energy, but you also get that fall off when the energy wears off from those drinks. I am a reformed energy drinker. I drank sugar-free Red Bulls for a few years, and I would get terrible headaches because of the sugar alcohol and some other ingredients in them. And I finally talked to a nutrition friend of mine, and he's like, well, do you drink energy drinks? I'm like, yeah, I drink like a Red Bull every other day or every day. He's like, oh my gosh. And then I told him it was the sugar-free ones. He goes, those are the worst. For certain people, they trigger migraines and they trigger headaches. And so I stopped drinking them, and my migraines got much better. So think about what kind of an example are you personally setting for your organization, as well as what is the culture of your organization like when it comes to healthy alternatives. I mean, I've been in organizations where they would actually ridicule people if they didn't eat a donut along with everybody else. I will tell you another secret, though. I worked for a giant industrial bakery, and when I first started working there, I noticed right away people that consumed the products at the bakery all the time, because you could have whatever you wanted pretty much while you're at work, weighed like 300 to 450 pounds. People that didn't consume them were like normal body weight. And I made the choice immediately that I would not consume a lot of the stuff that was available, and I certainly wouldn't eat it every day. Now, I was in charge of the quality division, and we had to have a cutting every day where we tasted all the foods. And so some things I just would like to taste and spit them out in a cup, because who needs, 1,000 calories to start your day in the morning because you're doing a cutting of different bakery products. So today, what's our challenge? What are we going to do with this today? We're going to audit what's going on in our organization. We're going to ask ourselves, what's going on with me personally? And are there changes that I should make? Are you consuming at least one meal a day that's whole foods, meaning foods that come from nature? So lean proteins, fruits and vegetables, etc. And if not, that might be the place to start. Just to say, every breakfast or every lunch or every supper, I'm going to make it a whole foods meal, meaning foods that are good for me and make me feel good. And then pay attention to how you feel 2 hours after you consume that meal versus 2 hours after you consume another meal. Personally, I found, and I did this experiment a couple of decades ago, if I ate a junk food lunch, like a McDonald's lunch or a fast food lunch or a sub or something, 2 hours after I ate that, I was so lethargic and sleepy. I just wanted to take a nap, which, at work you really don't take naps. Or it would be so frowned upon. But I would just get that lull. And that's usually when I was reaching for a caffeinated drink of some sort. And then I started making my lunch a salad with vegetables and things on it that I liked. Maybe a little cheese and some protein for sure. And that made a huge difference. I didn't get that crash every afternoon. So start experimenting with yourself. I like to use myself as my own science experiment. And I think that's been one of the most fun ways of becoming a better version of myself. And the better version we become of ourselves, the better example we set for the people that are interacting with us, working with us. And all of this, the better we become, the better our people become, gives us a huge competitive advantage. If you have clean, pure energy in your organization and in your culture, almost nobody else can compete with that. That makes you special and stand out, and that's what we're all looking for. All right, so that's our topic for today. Share in the comments below one healthy choice with respect to nutrition, what you put in your body, you are going to adopt for you and your organization as soon as this week. I encourage you to start it today, but this week for sure, since I'm running a little late today. If I can help you with anything, hit me up and ask. You can always reach me on the school platform in the Supersize Your Business premium community. You can join for free and join a bunch of like-minded business people who are finding ways to competitively improve and supersize and grow and scale our businesses. All right, go forth. Have an amazing day. Hopefully I'm better tomorrow and I won't be so coffee and nose blowy. And have an awesome house tomorrow because I shop every day. Bye.